And my question for you is, who will you be voting for in 2025?
Justin Trudeau.
What do you think about the current state of Canada? Where do you think we're heading as a country?
We don't have the infrastructure, the medical system, it's straining. Trudeau is not supporting the healthcare access.
What do you think about Justin Trudeau?
I don't like him.
You don't like him?
No, he's spending too much money on the native Aboriginal people in this country.
Would you say that life has got harder for some Canadians to live since Justin Trudeau has been Prime Minister? All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're in Burlington. Sorry, that was the last video. Today we're in Oakville, Ontario. In today's video, we're gonna be going around asking the local Canadians who they'll be voting for this upcoming election in 2025. Just like I always say, this is one of many election videos I'll be dropping on this channel until 2025. So if you're new to the channel and you don't wanna miss out for any future videos just like this, ladies and gentlemen, hear me out. You don't wanna miss out. Trust me, I'm doing a tour in Ontario right now and I might be in your city soon. So trust me, think about it. Who else is doing what I'm doing? No one. But anyways, so make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out for any future videos just like this. Let's go find out who they'll be voting for this upcoming election in 2025. And my question for you is, who will you be voting for in 2025? Let me know in the comments. What's your take with the way things are going on in our country?
I think they're pretty fair. I think people sort of cry wolf sometimes, but I don't think things are too bad. Yeah.
Well, what's your take on inflation?
Well, everything's gone up everywhere. It's hard to justify the price of homes now and the price of a car and all that. But it seems like the wages have gone up a bit too.
Yeah.
So
My question for you is, who will you be voting for in 2025?
Justin Trudeau.
And why do you say that?
Because I think he's been on the world stage long enough, and he knows his way around.
Yep.
I think he's fairly honest. And, he's part of the elite, I guess, but it doesn't bother me. I think he's pretty fair with anybody.
Some Canadians are saying that if Justin Trudeau wins this coming up election in 2025, a civil war would break out in this country. And what's your take on that?
Oh, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No way. We're not like the States.
Yeah, that's
We're
true.
not armed, man.
Hey, that's true, but hey, anything can happen nowadays. No. We see on the news where things are going on.
No, we got a three-party system, so it's usually like two parties will control the other one. So I think it's a pretty fair situation of the parliament system.
But based off when you have seen on social media, between Justin Trudeau and Pierre Poilievre, who do you think has more senses?
I still like Justin. I don't like Paul
Poilievre?
Yeah.
You don't like him? Why do you say that? Because a lot of Canadians are saying that he's the right man.
Oh, because he's doing the hustle, the old conservative hustle. Less government, lower taxes, and it'll be friendly to the working class. But I don't think so.
What do you think would happen to this country if he wins this coming up election in 2025?
I don't think we have to worry about it because he won't win.
He won't win?
No.
A lot of Canadians saying that he's going to win.
Yeah, and in certain pockets he might have a little bit of advantage, probably in Alberta, but not in Ontario.
What's your take with the migrant crisis that's going on?
I don't think it's a problem here. We need the workers.
Yeah.
There's lots of jobs, really, if people want to go and get them. But a lot of people think it belittles them if they start at the bottom. But you have to start somewhere. Yeah. And it's a grind. But
some Canadians I've spoken to, they're saying that everything has gotten a bit worse since Justin Trudeau just kept bringing in, the immigrants into the country, and we have also seen that he has sent so much money out of this country, and that kind of affected the Canadians in a really bad way.
No, I don't think so. That's sort of the mentality of the right-wing conservatives. Say that Justin screwed things up, but I don't think so.
I think if we stay with a liberal government, we're headed down. I think we need to change the government. It's been in long enough, and it's time for a change.
Yeah. And my other question is, how bad has things changed since Trudeau has been in office?
Well, I think we're continually taxed. It seems every time we turn around, there's tax on this, tax on that. It seems that we're not getting any breaks as a middle class, and I'm retired. And I live on a fixed income, and believe me, it's getting harder and harder all the time.
Since Justin Trudeau has been Prime Minister, what are some negative effects you have seen him of? What are some negative effects of his leadership you have seen in your community?
Well, I think I've seen the prices go up. Now, I don't put that just down to Canada. I mean, that's all over the place, but I don't see him really doing anything to try and control pricing. I don't think he's, he's got this carbon tax, and Conservatives aren't much better. One day they're for it, and the next day they're against it. I think we need somebody in there that's going to, really go for something and stick to looking after the people and trying to bring prices down.
Yep, I hear you. With this coming up election, who will you be voting for?
Conservatives.
Conservatives? So most likely Pierre's government.
Yes.
What's your take on him?
He seems to be pretty steady about things. That's one thing. You don't hear a lot about him, but I've been paying closer.
Before anyone says anything in the comments, I just want to clarify myself. I know it looks super disrespectful that I pulled my phone out, but my mom was pulling out my phone, so I had to let her know what was going on. But yeah, I'm only saying this because last time in my video, I had it in my hands and someone was saying I should get off my phone, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, but this one, I could see it if you attack me on this one. I could see it. But yeah, once again, my mom was texting me. They say moms come before anything. So I had to answer her and let her know what was going on.
Attention to the American politics right now than I have the Canadian politics. But in saying that, I think the system that we're under is wrong as well, because in my riding, I could have a really strong liberal candidate, but I don't want liberals in. And my conservative candidate could be an idiot. And so I have to basically vote for the idiot in order to get the guy in up top that I want. I think the better system would be we should have their name on a ballot and be able to check the mark beside their name.
Yeah, I hear you. Some Canadians have interviewed. Some of them, they want Trudeau out, but I asked them who they'll be voting for, and some of them were saying that they're not going to be voting since they think that it's all going to be broken promises. And my question for you is, would you say that in the state that we're in right now, is it voting in between two less of two evils?
Yes, I agree there. There's no question about that, but I don't think it pays to stay in your house and not vote. That's not going to change anything. I think everybody's got to get out there and vote. And it doesn't matter who for, you have to get out there and vote. If you don't vote, then you can't complain.
There's a saying that I'm going to read here: axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime, and bring it home. Do you believe in that saying? He's going to go by what he says, basically. Do you think he's going to stick to his word and satisfy the Canadians?
I think he's going to have to if he wants to stay in very long, because, like I say, you're right. Politicians say whatever they want to get in, and that's got to stop. Somewhere along the line, that has to stop, and hopefully he could be the guy that stops it.
And what makes Pierre qualified to become the next prime minister, like in your own opinion?
Well, he's had government experience. He's been around a while. He seems to know what's going on. He's not afraid to stand up to the opposition. That's about it. And
to all the Canadians that are thinking about voting for Justin Trudeau, what's the message that you have for them to kind of, convert them to vote for Pierre?
If you're going to vote for Trudeau, you better have your hand in your pocket to be pulling out your money, because it's just going to continue on. I mean, he's just going to continue to tax all the time.
I hear you. And in your opinion, what would be your biggest fear if Justin Trudeau gets re-elected and put back into the office?
Again, I mean, he'll maintain prices the way they are. His head's not in the right spot for knowing what the people out here need, because he's not in touch with them.
Some Canadians say that a civil war would break out. Do you think that there's a chance that could happen if Justin Trudeau wins this coming up elections?
No, that's not going to happen.
So there's just...
I think people that think that are looking for trouble. Same down in the States. I mean, it's ridiculous. Civil war is going to break out. we've lived in this country for a long time, and there's no reason for violence to come into it whatsoever. I mean, civil war breaks out, what's that going to do? People are going to die. And already there's enough people in this world dying for causes that aren't necessary.
Who will you guys be voting for this upcoming election 2025?
You talking about the federal election?
Yes.
It's a good question. I don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
No.
Not sure yet.
Have you seen the videos in the parliament when they're going back and forth?
Yes, a little bit.
So my question for you is, who, between with the things you have seen on social media, who would you say has more senses between them two?
That's tough. I don't think Justin should be running our country anymore. But I don't think any of them are great, so.
Would you say that life has been harder for some Canadians since Justin Trudeau has been Prime Minister?
Absolutely.
And why do you say that, if you're asking? Like,
Because he's eliminated the upper middle class, or middle class in general. It's not upper, just he's eliminated the middle class and pushed people into poverty.
with Justin Trudeau, we have seen that he has brought so many immigrants into this country. And my question for you is, what's your take on that?
That there probably needs to be a limit. And that we've lost a touch of being Canadian, no matter what culture or race you are.
Do you think that it's fair that he keeps bringing in people into his country while his own people are suffering?
But I don't think Justin's being fair to people that are Canadian.
And my last question for you is, with this coming up election, I know you said you don't really have anyone in your mind right now, but is there anyone that you're leaning towards a bit right now, thinking about voting?
Not Justin, probably PC.
What do I think about the current state?
Yeah, what do you think about the current state of Canada? Where would you say that we're heading as a country?
I think we're doing very well. Yeah,
think
I
so?
do. Yeah.
Yep.
I think we're doing great. It's a multicultural country with a lot of people have a lot to offer to this country. So, yeah, I think we're doing great.
What do you think about Justin Trudeau?
I don't like him.
You don't like him?
No. He's spending too much money on the Native Aboriginal people in this country. As much as, I respect their heritage and I understand their history, I think he's dumping way too much money in that direction. I think a lot of the young people have a hard time getting started in this country, so I'd rather see money going to help people that are just starting out.
And what's your thought with the migrant crisis going on in this country?
I'm not as much concerned about that. I think Canada is a multicultural country. I'm a migrant. I came here in 1967. So everyone should have a chance to make a living in this country. So I'm not as concerned about that.
Okay, so my question for you is, with this coming up election, who are you voting for?
Probably him. Well, I as a citizen, I get a feel of who's going to represent in my area, right? And then as we get closer to the election, I start to listen to what the polls are saying and what the public are saying, So following them all year round, no, I don't.
And my question for you is, since Justin Trudeau has been in the office, what are some negative effects you have seen of his leadership in your community?
Of his leadership in my community. There's a ton of homelessness, and that is a huge problem. There's no doubt about it. And I'm not sure if it's directly his fault. There's a lot of things that can affect why people are on the street.
That's true.
Yeah, I just think like during COVID and everything, he just threw money around like it was no tomorrow, recklessly, if you ask me.
Yes, sir.
I think that's what bothers me about him the most is he just overspends in areas that I don't see justifiable at all.
So would you say that everything went downhill after COVID in this country?
I think things got worse after COVID. I really do. I think the economy took a real hit, and there was a lot of factors that caused things to get worse in this country. People got greedy, and put prices way up, which made it harder for people that didn't have a big income. So you got this big divide, right? So I think if people got less greedy and lowered prices on everything, we could all work on the same level, right? This is very indicative of the way countries all over the world have evolved. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and the middle class starts to fade away, right? So it's not new. This isn't new politics. This isn't new history. It's just that I would have thought that all the people in this country that are from all over the world would learn from what happened in all the other countries in the world and put it to work here.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
You know, and all cultures is great as long as one culture just doesn't keep to their own. Share the wealth, share the knowledge, and everybody has a good time. Yeah.
Well said, sir. Coming from a conservative supporter, what do you think would happen to this country if Justin Trudeau gets re-elected and put back into office for this upcoming election?
Oh, it's just going to cause more dissension out there in the public, and people are not going to be happy. Yeah, I can't see it being happy. As much as like there are some things the Liberal government has done that's been good. You know, overall, he's not the right leader. No, people don't have faith in him. So, yeah.
Would you say that Justin Trudeau's all about talk and not the walk of?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He grew up in the the political world with his father, and his mother was very involved too. So, he's all talk.
What's your take with the way things are going on in our country, in Canada? Would you say that we're heading the right way as a country?
Well, no, it's terrible right now. It's terrible. The country is is in decline. We don't have the resources for the medical care system, for the hospitals. We can't support. We're unfettered immigration, and we don't have the infrastructure to support the people, and it's. It's terrible what the government is doing, I think. So, and it's no surprise that so many people you find a lot of feedback and negative feedback against Trudeau for his, they're blaming him, and I don't know what he's doing, and it's very poor governance of this country, and people are just so fed up with it. So I can't blame them, and we need immigration, but we need people who are qualified, and so we need young people who are professionals who have qualifications. We don't need older people that come in, or family reunification. We don't have the infrastructure, the medical system. It's straining. We don't have the money. So Trudeau is not supporting the healthcare acts. Says that government is supposed to be contributing something like 40% or whatever it is, and he's only contributing 20%. We just don't have the infrastructure. So we need good qualified people who have the qualifications, who are going to help our economy. Absolutely, and everybody, I'm sure 99.9% of the people would agree with that. But we don't need limousine drivers at the airport. We don't need the older family to babysit. We've got lots of people that can do that. So. And people who are going to contribute to the economy for the long term, because and we need that, because we don't have we're not having a population growth, you see. So absolutely. So and then there's just too many people that just come here, and they're just allowed in, and they'll never their immigration process. Or the refugee status hearings, they're going to take years and years and years, and nobody has any confidence that they're going to be adjudicated properly. So in the meantime, they get everything paid for, and it's sad. A lot of them end up they're homeless because we just can't support them. We don't have the housing, and I don't know what's going to happen, because during the wintertime, it gets pretty cold here, and you hate to see people who don't have a roof over their head and don't have warmth. I mean, it's tragic. It's terrible. And
do you think that it's fair that as soon as they get into this country, the government provides for them a housing or a shelter, while Canada's homeless people are not really being supported or treated right with the way things are going on? Do you think that that's right?
Well, no. I mean, my tax money should go to Canadians. I know I go around Ontario. You go to Gravenhurst, for example. Gravenhurst was one of the poorest towns in Ontario. And here you've got Canadians, and they're they're not well. You see them, with the electric, scooters, and there's a lot of poor people in Gravenhurst, and they're Canadians, and our government is not supporting them, and yet, they've got all this money. These refugees come in, they put them up in Niagara Falls and the hotels down there. I know I've got friends who have businesses down there, and we pay all this money to put the refugees. Money should go towards Canadians. Should have priorities first.
Yeah, that's true. Well said. I noticed you're saying that you don't know what Trudeau's doing in this country. So I only have one question for you. Can you name me one accomplishment Justin Trudeau has done for this country?
One accomplishment that Justin Trudeau has done for this country.
Yeah.
He's probably raised awareness of how poorly run. No, I can't. How about he's raised awareness. He's raised the people's antipathy against him. He's increased the size of the civil service by 44%. Since he came to power, whereas which is way. He's expanded the size of government, and we can't afford it. So, but he's raised people's awareness of how. The only thing I think that he's done is maybe he's driven people towards the Conservative Party, where people will think they'll find a solution there and properly run the country next time. And I hope they do. I hope they do. But no, I can't think of anything that he's. What has he done right? No.
Nothing, huh?
No, nothing. I mean, he's singularly unqualified. He's a, snowboard instructor, a part-time snowboard instructor, and he's a drama teacher. That's absolutely no qualifications for running a country, and he's just there because of his name, But no, Trudeau's there just because of his name. If he didn't have his last name, he wouldn't be elected, and he wouldn't be the prime minister. So.
I see.
The virtual, what do you call it? Identity politics is one of the worst things that he's done, because everybody's into groups. You're a group, and I'm a group, and who cares? We're all Canadians.
Since we're talking about Justin Trudeau, what's your take on Pierre Poilievre? A lot of Canadians are saying that he's the man to step in to fix the crisis that's going on in this country. And what's your take on Pierre Poilievre, based off from what you're seeing, when they're going back and forth in the parliament with Justin Trudeau? Who do you think has more senses?
Well, I think he's far more in touch with the common person, the common man, and the plight and the struggles that a lot of people have. I mean, Justin Trudeau, he lives off a trust fund for his family, so that's what he can fall back on. And he's isolated from the plight and the struggles of the ordinary Canadians. Whereas Pierre Poilievre, he isn't, and he's got more. I think he's more in touch with the common person and the real problems of the country.
Do you think that he could genuinely be a good leader for this country?
Oh, I think so. Yes, I think so. I mean, I think so. I think he's not. I think he's down to earth enough, and he's a good enough manager I think so. Yeah, sure.
And now, with everything you just said, my last question: what would be your biggest fear if Justin Trudeau gets re-elected for this upcoming election? What do you think would head down as a country?
Oh, well, I think we're almost heading down. We're almost down the tubes anyway. This country is just this country is completely different from 10 years ago. I mean, I lived in Oakville for 10 years, and it's changed hugely. The whole place has changed hugely, and I think that the deficits and the debt that Justin Trudeau has incurred, and a lot of it is wasteful spending. I think the country is. I don't have. I'm very concerned. I think it's. There's not. It's. I hope it's not too late, but I got to say that it may be too late. It may be too late to be able to recover. I mean, you can't recover overnight and change things around. And I really don't know. And same with the U.S. I think that we're in a real problem, and they're in a real problem. I don't know.
Do you think?
I really feel sorry for a lot of young people like you guys. I mean, I'm a little bit older than you guys, but I feel sorry for a lot of young people like you, because the young people, where's their hope and their dreams? They can't afford houses thanks to Trudeau and his immigration and the inflation, and they can't even afford a dozen eggs.
Yeah. In your own opinion, do you think there's anything Justin Trudeau could do to regain the trust of the Canadians?
Resign.
Resign.
Yeah. The problem is that there's nobody behind him who's, they've got his finance minister. I'm a finance person.
Yeah.
And his finance minister is a journalist, financial journalist. I mean, let's get somebody who understands business and taxation from a financial point of view. Let's understand. I mean, you look at the people in his cabinet, and they're very poorly qualified. Yeah. You look at the Liberal, the bench strength on the Liberal side is very.
Yeah,
it's a joke. It's horrendous.
Do you think that Pierre Poilievre is the right person to step in and execute this crisis that's going on in this country?
Well, yes, we need him for sure.
And what do you
for sure?
Yeah. And what do you think is the first thing that he would do to change, or to fix in this country if he becomes prime minister?
Well, one of the things I hope he does is to fix the justice system, because Trudeau has brought in this, was it C-73 or 75, where everybody gets bail. And these people just get right out of bail, and then they start committing crimes right away. And that's not the way it used to be. Catch and release, and people were just being basically given a slap on the wrist. And so no wonder we've got so much crime, and that leads to a lot of people, the general public, who have no faith in government, in our society, and it's a snowball effect. It's just one that leads to less confidence in the economy, and So I think that's for one thing I would do right away, and the second thing I would do is to the immigration system. I would just
close the borders.
Fine. Well, almost close the borders. But are you what qualifications do you have? If you've got a STEM degree. Yeah. Okay, science, technology, and engineering, math, and a science degree. Fine, we probably need you. Shut down, except for people who are really, really qualified, because we've got so much. The young people are so much youth unemployment that we need to absorb those and get them working. So and we can't afford the immigration that we've got. That's basically what it is. We can't afford it. So we have to. You have to really be tough, and nobody wants to be tough anymore. And nobody's willing to say no. The politicians aren't willing to say no, and the civil servants they just go along with it and wait until they collect their gold-plated pensions. And anyway, I could go on and on. But so crime and immigration and cut down on the spending. I would just cut down in the spending right away, and all these consultants and the size of government. You've got to have a lot of. It's got to be tough. It's got to be tough. It's the only way this country's going to survive.
And
but you got to when you got to change. You've got to change. And make the change, and then move on. You can't have a, gradual, we'll change over time. It never works that way. You got to and that's the best way to do it. Just make the sudden change, and get on with it. That's the best solution. But it doesn't go well over with the public.
And to close this conversation, now my last question is, if you could say something to Justin Trudeau, what would you say to him?
resign. Resign. You're a failure. You're a failure. You're incompetent. You're long in the tooth. People are fed up with you. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing. You're ruining this country. You're singularly ruining this country.